Good morning, Nigeria and world citizens. You're welcome. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television from our corporate headquarters in Lagos State, Nigeria. I am Henry Igwebike, and today we will be doing what we know how to do best, of course, starting from our newspapers, just to let us know what we have in there, from which we will move on to our conversation for today. Do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can reach us when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Very so honored to have. Joining me virtually is Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. He is a barrister, public affairs analyst, development communicator, and he joins us from Lagos State, Nigeria. Good morning to you, Barrister, and welcome to Enterprise Morning today.
Good morning, Henry. Thank you for having me. It's been a while.
Thank you so very much, Barrister, for your time. So let's start with the first daily on our desk. We have The Guardian, The Vanguard, The Punch, and The Daily Trust newspaper. I sincerely hope we have more than enough time because interesting stories are riddled all over them. But let's start with The Guardian newspaper for today. Big story, not decries 2027 politics despite insecurity. 4,654 deaths in 2025 alone. Wow, that's a big number. But on the top strip, we have a backlash trails a Senate version of new electoral act. We equally have other growing matters. How botched broadband plans ruined e-transmission of election results. Is this an excuse coming from Bosuti Jani to maybe prove that the National Assembly is doing well for their little issue on the e-transmission thing? But let's take a look at that matter, especially going from the backlash trail Senate version of new electoral act. Barrister, I know this story is big right now in Nigeria and would last for a very long time until 2027. What's your take really on what was there before and what is now as a result of the new action taken by the 10th Assembly under Senate President Godswill Rabiu?
Yeah, what I should tell you now is that there's nothing there as it is now. What is there before is what is still there.
Wow.
Nothing new has been there. Is there now. What is being done is still a bill, so it has not become law. So until it is harmonized and a particular position is taken, that's why we can say this is what it is now. What is it as present? It is still what we have in 2022 in the Electoral Act of 2022, which says it shall be as prescribed by the Commission, which I remember in 2022 when it was passed. I was one of those who said, look, this is an avenue to give INEC who wants to do manipulation to be able to do manipulation. Because in Nigeria, once you give discretion to an agency or an individual or government agency or whoever, they take advantage of that discretion to do their own bidding. So I said that when the law was passed, there was like 2 out of 10, and people were seeing me as being unnecessarily hard on government, that we are always not patient. Let's even try it first.
Communication there. Barrister, we can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now very well.
So I was saying that what we are going to have now is not clear yet until that exercise is completed. The exercise is still ongoing. The rep has passed their own without any rancor because it appeared to be in line with the thinking of the masses. Mm-hmm. The Senate own seemed to have attracted a lot of criticism because it looked like it's not in line with what majority are looking for. Majority are looking for a situation whereby the result will be uploaded instantly, as soon as they are done. But what I also don't understand by what majority are looking for is whether or not they are expecting that when the election is being casted, as soon as you cast your vote, the result will be uploaded, or they are saying once the result has been collated at the polling unit, you scan it and send it to the IRF. If that is the one that I think is possible for now, because the first one whereby people are expecting that as you are casting your votes, it will reflect on the IRF may not be possible because we are not doing e-voting. So I think that is the mindset of some of the members of the assembly. But the excuse being given is that we don't have some places don't have network. If it's about the ensuring that the collation immediately after the collation is on that are sent to IREF, I do not see how that is a problem. I do not see how network will be an issue for that one. They are not saying as you vote, it should reflect. Except if that's what they're saying. I also not agree with that because it may be difficult to achieve because we are not doing e-voting. So as far as I'm concerned, we have to wait and see what will be the outcome of the harmonization committee between the House of Rep and the Senate. Because for a bill to become law, particularly a bill of this nature, both houses must agree on it. If there's no agreement as to it, then the bill cannot be passed into law. So there must be harmonization. They must agree on the language to be used. They must agree on the clauses to be put, and then at that point. But I don't want a situation whereby we will give INEC another discretion as to what to use. That would be a room. You are already promoting opportunity for them to manipulate. Because I'm saying so because I've lost trust in our INEC. Because going by what happened in 2023, if you listen to the explanations and the promotion by the INEC at that time regarding the use of IREF and the importance of IREF, they make it look like with IREF transparency has come to stay. There are a lot of days it wasn't to be. So because of that, I will not be too because of lack of that trust. I will not want a situation whereby the INEC will be given opportunity to have a discretion. But in some situation too, there is no way the one being proposed by Senate now look like they are making sending it to the IREF as a what's it called, as a backup. They are not. It's not looking like it's also part of the main collation center results that can be relied on. I think we can adopt the two pari passu. We can say the EC8A will still be used, and as soon as the EC8A is filled at the polling unit, before everybody dispatched from that polling unit, it is sent to IREF for immediately. I think, or within a particular minute, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever. I think I would prefer that one than to say, look, if there is the EC8 that was suggestion transmission. I thank God they both agree on the transmission of results, but transmission to where? The INEC did not. The Senate one passed by the Senate did not state whether they don't even mention the IREF. And you know the position of the court at last in 2023. The court said IREF is just a mere viewing center. So because it's not recognized by our law. So we need to, if we want IREF to be recognized by law, it needs to be part of this of the law itself. So the relevance of it must be known in the law so that we can be able to rely on it. I know that, look, the IREC in their guideline promised that IREF will be used in the last election. But they said because of the glitch, they won't use it again. But the Supreme Court now said, yes, they have the right to petition it. They are not under obligation to follow it. I think that's where the problem is. And the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, that's what they said. But I beg to disagree that look, guideline of INEC for a student of government who's not even a lawyer, you will know that there's what we call delegated legislation and subsidiary legislation, and regulation, guideline, or rule from a government agency or body or institution are classified as delegated legislation, as classified as subsidiary legislation. So if a law is made pursuant to a provision of the Constitution, if a guideline is made pursuant to the provision of the Constitution, how can that guideline that is called subsidiary legislation not be enforceable? That's why I say I have my disagreement with the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court is the alpha and omega. And so in their wisdom, they've said, look, it is not. So, and that is the law today. So we must follow it. And that's why people are now saying, look, let's have it specifically in the law that IREF is should be recognized when it comes to a challenge of a result, or when it comes to a collation of results. So for me, we still have to wait and see what will be the final outcome of the harmonization by the rep and the Senate.
All right,
before we can say whether or not we are thinking.
All right, I sincerely hope that would work for Nigerians, because what we want is participatory democracy, because it doesn't really make any sense that you queue under the rain and in the sun to cast your vote, and at the end your vote is not counted or is not given the respect.
Let me also add, let me add that people are agitated because of lack of transparency and lack of trust. And in that regard, for us to have transparency, because in law, they say justice is not only to be done, but must be seen to have been done. Yeah. If people are satisfied that, look, this is transparent enough, there will be little cases in court when it comes to election petition. But because when people are not satisfied, people are not clear, things are not clear, there's no transparency, people will go to court. Bearing in mind that for a couple the fact that people are not even, the trust is not even on the INEC because of what happened at the last election. So in that regard, I think they should look and see how they can balance the situation.
All right, so let's move to Lagos this time around, and from Vanguard newspaper, on the top strip we have Makoko demolitions. Fate of 1,000 school children hang in the balance. Barrister, speak to me on this, and what do you think the law has to support and help these school children? Over 1,000 of them, they used to school in that particular vicinity. What's your take on the demolition, on the fate of these children, and equally on representation? Because there are people, councillors, state house members representing that community. What's your take on this?
Yeah, Henry, I think that is one of the consequences of lack of proper planning. Sometimes when you don't plan well, there will be consequences. I believe that for a government to say you want to demolish a particular area, particularly that large part of it, occupied by a large number of people, you must have planned on where they will be taken to. You must have looked at the schools that are there, the children are going to school there, what will happen to their schools. So many things will have been put in consideration. But what we see in our own part of the world is that government don't even care when they want to take action. What they do is that they take action and then they thereafter think about the consequences on the part of the citizen.
But they put the cats before. Sorry to interject, Barrister. What if the government says they are there illegally? The waterways or the waters belong to the government. No one has been given a C of O on the surface of the water. So they are there illegally. So don't you think the government has a right to say you are not supposed to be here because you don't own it? You came from all over the place to settle here, which is not legal, and therefore you must see yourself out.
Henry, the government has the right to say to eject anybody that is living staying in a place illegally, occupying a government space illegally. Just like a citizen that also has the right to eject a tenant that enter into his property illegally. But what we are saying is that there are whether I enter into your house illegally or I enter upon your land illegally, there are processes, there are procedures to take me away from that land. It is not by force. You cannot just use a might and say I'm coming in the middle of the night and destroy my house and say because I'm occupying it illegally. Especially when it's coming from the government, who has the responsibility of safeguarding the welfare and the security of the people. And the same government is now throwing people into lack of welfare, lack of security. So for me, it is not about how they occupy it. It's about the mode of sending them away from the place. There are procedures, there are processes to be followed. I'm not aware of any law which gives anybody the power to take away anybody from his land, whether that person is occupying legally or illegally, without any court order. Most times, government don't have court order. In fact, even in the case of Makoko, in some cases, the people to be ejected will have court order from the court, restraining the government from going ahead. The government will ignore it, and they still do the same thing. So for me, the excuse of they occupying legally will not justify the fact that government will not follow the due process. Does not give the government the right to just do as they like. I'm not aware of any law which gives the government the power to carry out execution of judgment of court, even if they have one, or to implement government policy or enforce government order in the middle of the night of that nature. In the middle of the night, I'm not aware of any law to that effect. So, if in fact doing it in the middle of the night alone is enough to say it was not done properly, it was done illegally. So for me, the government has a responsibility now. People have been thrown out. Children have been thrown out of school. the government has a responsibility to ensure these children are educated, because the law says it is the responsibility of the government under our law. They must ensure that every children have primary, compulsory primary education, so or secondary education. So the government still has a responsibility to make provision for these children, and so that this community that has been displaced, their children will not be moving around without any, will be out of school without a way to go further. This is the lack of planning from the government as far as I'm concerned. The government has not done the right thing, and that's why you see what you have seen. That is the consequences of not thinking properly, or not thinking through of the consequences of what you want to do. But because but most time in Nigeria, the government they do it deliberately, because they just want to do. They believe that using force is the only way out. When you are not using force, you may not get results. So they want to, and that's dangerous, because individuals who are not even government may be following this pattern and will be creating chaos. Because people will now say, he's occupying my property illegally. So he will not go to court. He will want to go and throw him out because he believes he's occupying it illegally. If you allege me of occupation of a place illegally, it is only the court that can pronounce that I have committed an offense. Sorry, I am liable. Or you cannot accuse me of that, of the wrongdoing, and then you'll be the one to judge it, and then even implement it, the judgment. So for me, that's what is lacking in this lack of due process. And in that regard, the government will have the responsibility to ensure that these children are fixed and are taken back to school. How they will do it is now within their head to think and provide this solution for them. But they have the responsibility under our law to ensure that children are in school and that they are taken care of. In fact, by our law, the primary education should even be free. Yeah. But although it's not enforceable under our law, that is a responsibility of the government that must be done. But what do we see in our country? They ignore them.
All right. Of course, with the data that we have, over 23 million out-of-school children already roaming around the streets. Just imagine adding this number from Makoko already. The number is really alarming, and this is not good for the security of Lagos, obviously. But let's move to the Punch newspaper, Barrister. This is quite interesting. Daniel, that is Benga Daniel, and Musa absent as Dapo Abiodun endorses Tinubu for 2027. Barrister, everyone would envy President Bola Tinubu at this point. He is looking like an SS1 girl who is being, given lots of left eye or eye contact by lots of boys. Everyone wants a piece of her, and she is all over the place, doing yanga, like we often say it. This is not just in Ogun State. It's happening in Rivers State. Every one of them is jostling to support President Bola Tinubu. Do you think that the president might just be sitting back and having a fun time while people are struggling over him? What's your take on this?
Yeah, the president will be sitting back and thinking, "Look, I'm this loved by the people, or I'm doing quite a good job, and that's why people are falling over me." President will be thinking that wise, and people around the president will also be thinking that wise, that the president is doing something right, or probably the president is. But you see, if you look at these people, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
If you look at these people, who are jostling for support to support the president, they are not doing it because they love the people. They are doing it for their own personal gain. Some of them are doing it to gain favor from the president thereafter. So if you look at that, the president and before that, so many people or governors are jostling to support the president, does not mean it's automatic. Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes, please do. All right. So we are talking about the jostling for who would get the most favor from President Bola Tinubu at this point. Everyone is struggling to support him by all means. Yes. All right, Barrister, you're back.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm saying the fact that so many people are running after, or the governors are running after the president, does not mean they love the president, does not mean they are fighting for the people. They are doing it for their own personal benefit and gain. And they want to be associated with him. They're thinking that He's already winning the next election. But if you look at the last election, in 2014, 15, the one that took Jonathan away from office, over 28 governors, sitting governors, were with Jonathan. Almost all the Obas gave their support to Jonathan. So many other politicians did the same. At the end of the day, he lost the election. So the president will look at that and he will not be sitting back. He will think he's a politician and they want to say, look, anything can happen. Therefore, he will not fold his arm, just like ask to say, look, I have won, and therefore I need not do more. The president will still do more. And that's why he's fighting to ensure that he gets more members in their party.
But Barrister, you were saying the president will do more. Why is he struggling this hard to get the attention of Nigerians if he was leading the people well? City Boys movement is another arm of the desire to get more people from his son, Seyi Tinubu. City Boys is being campaigned by old men that are calling themselves boys because they all want to get what falls from the master's table. Does this show good leadership from President Bala Tinubu at this point?
I'm not saying, my point is, I'm not saying the president has done well to be able to get a new term. I'm saying that in the eyes of the president, because so many people are falling over him, he will believe that he has done well. And it is right to think in that manner. And I've said it again, like people who are falling over the president are doing so for their own personal right. Yes. So this is politics. And like I said, this politics as a game of number. So the president intends to win another election. In fact, he has started even before the last election, the 2023 election, during the campaign. He started 2027 election ahead because he said, I remember saying while he was in Enugu, he said, if I do not give you light or electricity, don't vote for me for the second time. So the president was looking ahead of even as against the 2023 election, was already looking at 2027 when he has not even won the election in 20. He has not won the election in 2023. So for me, the president is more concerned about politics than governance. So and that's why you see him doing what they are doing. They are not looking at what is on that. But if you talk to the president or people who support the president, they will tell you the president has done he has achieved 80% of his promises. That's what they will tell you, or even of 70%. They will tell you he has done well. And then what they will give you, if you ask them to give you what the president has done, they will tell you it was bold to remove subsidy. They will not look at the consequence of that subsidy that was removed. Whether after the removal of the subsidy, the country became better, they will not tell you. They will tell you the FS, what's it called? FX issue. Yes. Yes, it collapses or whatever. They will not tell you that upon that step, our exchange rate went to almost 2,000, and they are bringing it back to below 1,005 now, and they are saying yes, it's doing well because it's moving. They were before the president came on board, we are buying fuel at less than 200 naira. Yeah. Today we are buying at almost 1,800 plus. Yes, all those are there, but people will tell you no. You see, that is what we need. We are laying new foundation for the country, and when you are laying new foundation for the country, things will not be as rosy as you think. So they are always thinking in that manner. When Buhari was there, these same people were telling us to be patient, that President Buhari was laying foundation, and that when he finishes his foundation, we will see the results. After 8 years, I did not see any results. In fact, the same set of people are the one coming to say he did not do anything. He bastardized the economy. So for me, if you are warning yourself that the support is about good work of the president, you are deceiving yourself. It's not about the good work of the president. Those who are supporting the president are doing so because of their own personal interest. And that's why I say those who are against the president should also do their own work. Just like these people are working day and night to ensure the success of the president. Those who think they are not working for their own interest should also come together and do their own. So we cannot just sit in our hand and fold our arms and blame people for doing what they believe is right for them. So if the people are selfish in the country today, so you must also be selfish about your own interest. It's selfish if your interest about the people, be selfish about it and work for the people. That's what I'm saying. So we cannot just fold our arms and say, why are they like this? Why are they not like this? Why are you not also doing your own to portray your stand? So that's why I'll be telling our people, we should not just condemn them. We must also do our own to counter whatever they are doing if we don't believe in what they are doing. And you can see those people are just pushing themselves to get a better opportunity should the president come win election in 2027. So for me, it's a matter of politics, and that's what they are playing.
All right. It's often said that politics without a mix of humanity and people's interest is not politics any longer. It could be termed as dictatorship or authoritarianism. Politics that should have people at the center is what democracy should look like, equity should look like. Nigerians deserve a better. After many years of independence, Nigerians deserve better. And we hope that the crop of leaders we have would give us that desire that we want for Nigeria. And talking about the opposition doing their best, that we will talk about when we return. U.S. bill targets Kwankwaso over religious violence claims as APC NNPP cry foul. In the Beat Enterprise morning, it is don't go anywhere. Like we would be joined, of course, on this conversation with Emeka Madunago, joining us with Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. In the Beat, please don't go anywhere. Thank you so very much for being back, and if you just joined us, Enterprise Morning it is, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's move straight to our conversation for today. The All Progressive Congress, APC, and the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, have rejected a proposed United States bill recommending visa bans and asset freezes against the former Kano State Governor, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, and two Miyetti Allah groups over alleged religious freedom violations. The bill, titled Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026, was introduced in the United States House of Representatives and seeks sanctions under the Global Magnitsky Act. The APC argued that the sanctions based solely on allegations violate principles of democracy and due process. Its spokesperson, Bala Ibrahim, said the U.S. should not restrict Kwankwaso's freedom of movement without proper investigation, fair hearing, and substantiated evidence. The NNPP described the move as a political blackmail and expressed shock at Kwankwaso's inclusion. The party maintained that he has no links to religious extremism and urged proper investigation before conclusions are drawn. I have Emeka Madunago, seated right here in the studios, and joining us still and with us is Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for being back, and Emeka, thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yes. So let's kickstart today, and I would love to start the show with Barrister. Barrister, what's your take on this? You know, you talked about politics playing in Nigeria, and politicians can go to all lengths to ensure that opposition is doesn't see the light of the day. President Bala Ibrahim did it, and his people, APC, did it against Goodluck Ebele Jonathan many years ago with Obama. What's your take on this? Do you see politics playing yet again, or is just coincidence?
No, I wouldn't say I think politics in it, because bearing in mind that recently the US has become have been more interested in our security issue, and particularly the interest of the Christians in Nigeria. So probably because of that, I would not say probably their major interest is about protection of Christians, not about Nigerians. It's about just particular. So in that regard, they are trying to achieve their objective, and that's why you see all the people that have been highlighted in that bill are people they see as fighting against Christians or promoting a violation of Christians' rights. So probably it's not about Nigerian politics. Probably it's about religious interests, as far as I'm concerned. So I would not say better. You cannot throw away the hand of politics in every thing that happens. Bearing in mind that recently we are told that the government of Nigeria pay $9 million to a group, DCI, to promote the country. So the same faith, they may likely say, okay, this is what we want you to do as well. So I wouldn't know. But you can't throw away politics into it. But for me, I'm seeing a religious sentiment in it, from the US in particular, because it's clearly stated by them. Even Trump said it. My interest is to protect Christians. He didn't say his interest is to protect Nigerians. So it's about promotion of protection of Christians. So for me, that the US have the right to label anybody they want to label as whatever they want to do. But what I'm not comfortable with, or what I'm not satisfied with, is the excuse being given. The excuse they gave, or if you are giving that excuse, so many people's names should be there in that list. Shehu Gumi should be on that list if they are talking about people who are promoting legal violation. There's an allegation that what we call Boko Haram today was created by a particular person who is sitting is currently one of the top second in command today. Yes. His name is not there. So many other people who have been figured in that. So I do not know exactly the particular case against Kwankwaso or Miyetti Allah to say this is the reason why they are classified as. The only thing I saw is general information, religious violation, and one of them is that Kwankwaso that he promoted Sharia. I do not see how promotion of Sharia is an attack against Christian rights. I do not see. Because you see, we are creating an unnecessary problem in Nigeria, because I would say lack of education and knowledge of what is Sharia. Sharia is an Islamic Arabic language, and it simply means Islamic law. In fact, and in Nigeria, when you talk about law in Nigeria, Islamic law is classified as part of the customary law in Nigeria. So if a government is promoting customary law in the state, let's not call it Sharia. It's promoting customary law in the state, and it's not doing it in violation of the right of anybody. In other words, see, if I ask you now to tell me how many cases from the courts have been decided by the court and say, look, we are punishing you for this because of Sharia law, what we have been seeing is people who are taking law into their hands, jungle justice. And that's what we are using as the yardstick to condemn people who introduce Sharia. The people who are killing people, who are doing just like what they do in some part of the country here, where somebody will be alleged of stealing tire, they will say, ole, ole, ole. They will put a tire on his neck and burn him. That's what we are seeing as Sharia causing crisis. It is not the Sharia that is causing crisis. It is the hooligans, the people who are taking advantage of the system to commit crime. So the person that introduced Sharia law did not say operate it illegally, take law into your hands and start enforcing it. No. So if I tell me 3, 5, 7 cases that have been decided in court, and they say go and kill this man because he blasphemed for blasphemy. I'm not sure you'll be able to count 3.
Yeah.
That they will say it was a court that says so. But most of the cases that you see is by people who are not state actors, what we call a thought. People who are taking law into their hands. So that cannot be a justification to say a system introduced by somebody that is backed by law. Because some people will come and say, no, are we not a secular state? The fact that somebody introduced a Sharia law does not mean it's creating that state as a Christian state. Like I said, go and Google it thereafter or wherever, and see Nigerian legal system. Say Nigerian laws in Nigeria. What are the sources of law in Nigeria? They will put Islamic law. They will order customary law. They will tell you customary law. And when you say type of customary law in Nigeria, you will see Sharia in it.
All right.
So Sharia law is customary law. So it's like an ordinary customary law. If they change the name today from Sharia to customary law, and they are relying on the same format they are using, people will not condemn it. That name is what is giving that whatever, because people see Sharia law as a law that says go and kill people, go and bury people. No, I'm not aware that there's any law to that effect. So that's what they are relying on to say he initiated Sharia, he promoted Sharia law. How can promotion of Sharia law be an offense to say I'm promoting I'm causing violation against Christians? So for me, and like I said, I want to agree with them again. I'm not a supporter of anybody killing anybody or violation of religious rights. But when you are talking about, sorry,
yeah,
you classify somebody as a violation of religious rights. Have they been invited for questioning by the US for them to conclude? It's a mere allegation, and based on an allegation, they are concluding it.
All right.
That's not the way to go. We are in the democratic system. Everybody has been alleged of an offense must be given an opportunity to defend himself.
Okay, very well said.
So they have the right to do whatever they want to do. They have the right to say, "Don't come to our country again. We ban you." They can do that, but the process must be free and fair. That's the only point I want to make. And there are so many names that should be, if they are using that statistics or criteria, so many names in Nigeria should be on that list.
All right, very well said. This is more like giving a dog a bad name just to hang it. We have countries in the world that have allowed for freedom of religious association and all, and they've had no problems whatsoever. But Emeka Emadnago, just like the barrister did say, if we are to go about the name calling the way it should be, there are lots of names that should be there that aren't there yet. So do we see politics playing yet again with respect to Kwankwaso? So remember his man just moved to the APC not quite long, and he is still adamant. So what's your take on this?
No, it has nothing to do with politics. I must let you know that there was a sequence of events. I think what caused it, if you go to Kwankwaso's timeline on X, formerly Twitter, on November 2, US President Donald Trump made a tweet where he spoke very strongly about religious extremism in Nigeria, attacks on Christians and all of that. I saw that tweet. Then later, because I work a lot with social media, then later I now saw that Kwankwaso, zeroed in on the tweet and said,
His official handle.
Yes, Kwankwaso, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, now RMK, he always signs his tweets off as RMK. Okay. So he zeroed in and said it was wrong for Trump to have classified Nigeria the way he did, that instead Trump should, the United States should help Nigeria with sophisticated equipment, security equipment, military equipment, to tackle insecurity and all of that, and Nigeria is a sovereign nation and all of that. Good and fine. Now, President Bala Tinubu's special advisor on media, Bayo Onanuga, shared that.
Really?
He shared what Kwankwaso said. Then now, posted something by, praising Kwankwaso for supporting the Nigerian government stance and all of that. So, which was carried as a story by some papers, Daily Trust and others, the following day. I'm just giving you a sequence. Now, within that timeline of when, Kwankwaso responded to President Trump, U.S. rep, Riley Moore, who has been one of the arrowheads of this Christian genocide thing, now attacked Kwankwaso. He fired back at Kwankwaso and called him a Sharia advocate, that during his time as governor, Sharia was passed into law. Said all manner of, just my phone is not here, said all manner of things,
But did he do that with an understanding of what Barrister did say, that it's customary court?
No, I'm coming. I'm coming
yes.
to something. I'm coming. Look, you are dealing with, you see, that's why there are tendencies at play here. You see all of these things, Christian genocide and all that. There are tendencies that some of our politicians have not yet understood.
Okay.
There are far-right tendencies in the US. There are far-left tendencies. There are moderate tendencies. Right now, Donald Trump panders to the far-right tendencies. And these are the things they want to hear. Anything about Christianity.
Just to appease their...
Just drop anything about Christianity, because Trump is a politician now. He wants to retain his popularity. And by November, you're going to have the midterm elections, US midterm elections, in Congress and the Senate. So definitely, you must keep your base alive, by pushing narratives, that resonate with them. Okay. So you see, the $9 million thing that Barrister mentioned had nothing to do with the far right, because the lobbying firm didn't even go to the far right. You saw where they went to New York Times,
yes.
which is, leaning towards Democrats.
Fake media.
According to Trump. So far, it's only Fox News that's on the right. Okay. That any Nigerian, Tinubu's wife, President Tinubu's wife, Remi Tinubu, is not an official of the federal government. But let's say by association, somebody in the system, let me just call it like that, spoke to Fox. Now, Fox is on the right. And you saw what she said. She praised the USS rights and all that. So it looked like, maybe she had been told, look, this is our audience. So these are the values we subscribe to. So please, that's why she veered in that part. Remember, there was a show host who said she tried to reach him. And he turned her down. So these things are the tendencies which the Nigerian government... You see, the absence of an ambassador, a substantive ambassador to the US, is a big problem. Right now, I'm saying that many countries have turned down Nigeria's request to post those ambassadors because they say, this is over 2 years, and you're going to 3 years. Why are you posting? What are they coming to do, at this time? So the absence of a substantive ambassador in the United States has led to issues about Nigeria just being decided freely without any diplomatic boots on the ground, quote unquote, to defend Nigeria. So now, in desperation, we now spend $9 million. Now tell me, would we have spent $9 million running if we had posted an ambassador? As at 2023, would we have spent $9 million by now on all these things demanding? So it shows you again the incompetence of the Tinubu administration. Reactive rather than proactive. We had to beg them to post ambassadors. It was when Donald Trump started calling Nigeria a disgraced country and all that, that they now suddenly woke up, and they rushed a list. And even the people on the list, how many of them are credible individuals that you can post to any country, that can even say anything, that resonates with them, because that resonates with Nigeria's interest. Because look at it. When you post somebody to a country, the intelligence services will check the person's background. They will look at, now you see countries are not interested in social media handles. So they'll look at your social media handles. They'll look at everything. Is it the things some of these people tweet that will make them, will they be acceptable? So now, Kwankwaso unfortunately walked into a minefield.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, because I knew that when I read his response to Donald Trump's tweet, and then I now read what Riley Moore wrote, plus some other, US politicians, wrote, the way they frontally mentioned Kwankwaso as a Sharia promoter. See, let me tell you, when you are dealing with national politics, the words used matter. Framing matters. That's one thing, we feel, a lot of us fail to understand in Nigeria. Framing matters. When Trump says now disgraced country, and some people are saying no, Nigeria is not a disgraced country. Look at what NNPP is saying, that they reject it. What power do you have to reject? what you can do is this. Look, if when it's a bill which is going to go through Congress. So if they hold a public hearing, Kwankwaso should hire some publicists to go to the public hearing. I've attended in 2008. I attended a public hearing in the U.S. Congress, on the Iraq War. So some retired generals, U.S. generals were there. We went there. It was part of a program, so sponsored by the U.S. Department of State then. So of course you go there and present your case. But staying here to say we reject this, we reject it, you're just wasting your time.
All right. So, Barrister, let's get back to you again, because everything falls on the table of the president at this point. Because if he had managed all of the issues that we have, I don't think we would have seen ourselves being called a disgraced nation. Do you think President Bola Tinubu can still resettle the tides? He is the captain of the ship called Nigeria now. Do you think he has that gusto, that dexterity to repurpose Nigeria such that we would be respected, our laws can be respected by external factors and many other things going on in the country?
Henry, before I go into that question, let me just say that let me follow up to what Mr. Maker said. You see, Mr. Maker said they should not stay here and condemn it. They should go there. How many people asked that visa to go there?
No, even Kwankwaso, not how many people. Kwankwaso.
Even Kwankwaso, if he's not invited, will he just go there and just enter the public hearing? That's why we're saying that you should be invited for fair hearing. Before you even declare me as or alleged me of a such offense and say my name will be published, you must have given me opportunity to defend it. Was that opportunity given? Well, we are just saying so because US. If anyone in Nigeria should do that against US now, and that you have been cited for clinical without any trial, without any fair hearing, and then you said no. You see, the US is just taking things. You have said it. It was just because of his reaction to the US declaration of consigned what do you call it? CPC.
Yes.
So that he was not the only person who reacted. So many people reacted in that manner. That look, rather than this and that. So it was that reaction that like I said, if you are looking at people who are supporting criminality in Nigeria, to Kwankwaso be the only one that you finger. Was that no allegation against somebody who started Boko Haram? Is Boko Haram not a well-known terrorist in Nigeria? Has that promoter, has that person been named as promoter, has been alleged or put in that list to say, look, he started it. So how can it only be Kwankwaso? When say Ugumi of all people, he's not even on the list that has been romancing and talking about as a PRO to these people. He was not mentioned. So for you to know that there is something behind it. It may not be politics, it may be something else, maybe because of just his reaction. So they are not being fair. That's what I'm making. I'm not saying I'm saying because he promoted Sharia. How can promotion of Sharia be an offense? When it's all in line with the law.
No, sorry, Barrister. Barrister, I need to let you know right now that Sharia is a hotly contested topic in the United States right now. Because there are some Islamic clerics in the US, in some states in the US, who actually came out to say they will ensure that Sharia is implemented in the United States. And that got, that became a serious talking point, And then if you look at what this US rep, Ihan Omar from Somalia has been doing, what she's been saying, about the establishment, about, Islamic religion being fully established in the US. So all of this is, remember I said something, that the far right is, the far right is where these issues are, it's where the main debate is. That this thing is just pandering to the far right. So when you say labeling Kwankwaso is not fair, look, please take it off from where these people are taking it off. They are not looking at whether it is white or black. They are looking at the fact that there was a point when Sharia law was passed in Kano. And they are now tying things together. Whether it's fair or not is another conversation.
All right.
we cannot just say because it's US and whatever they look at it, we just say they are right or they are looking at it very well. No, well, I'm educating them. If they don't know, that's what I'm saying. And for those who don't know, that Sharia law is not an offense. It's not a crime in Nigeria. Implementing Sharia law or promoting Sharia law is not an offense. It's not crime because it's recognized by our law. Yeah. It's a customary law. It's like saying customary law in Lagos State or whatever state that we're at, we should cancel it. That's what we're saying. The Sharia is just an Arabic name. It's not an Arabic name. It's just Sharia because it's been based on principle of in the Quran. That's why they say Sharia. So it's a customary law. It's not imposed on everybody. It's for Muslims who believe in it. So if it's been imposed and said compulsorily in this state, everybody must be bound by Sharia. That's why you say it's a crime. That is going beyond.
But former communication minister Adebayo Shitu said recently that if he becomes governor, Sharia will be imposed on Oyo State, and that is another issue. So the thing is this: I get what you are saying, but there are some people. There are public comments. Are causing this problem.
If Adebayo is saying it, if that bill is passed by the House of Assembly, it's not an offense. It's not bad.
So, but do you consider the consequences, the political consequences?
That you think there's something wrong. If it's passed by the Assembly, you cannot say, and he's implementing it, you cannot say he has done anything wrong. So if he's proposing it, and the Assembly said no, so and he's forcing it, that's when it would become an issue. But because it's been passed, it's a bill, and the law allows you to promote it. So how is that? How is US now seeing that as an offense? I see that discrimination against Muslims. That's why I see it.
All right.
That's why I see it.
Yes, but Barrister.
Yes. US is started telling us when they are talking about our insecurity, they are not saying they are killing Nigerians. They say they are killing Christians and we'll do everything to protect them. So Muslims should be killed. Say Muslims should be killed. Is that what they are saying? So for me, it's about religion. They are just promoting religion. They are not being fair. And the promotion of Sharia is this, Sharia is that. It's just being painted in bad faith because of lack of knowledge of what Sharia is. Right. Or because of some people who are trying to create that sentiment to make Sharia look like a bad thing. It's not bad.
All right, so, but Barrister, yes, I would love to ask you this. It's often said that when the walls are cracked open, you give opportunity for rodents, reptiles to come in. All of this never happened in the past administration, from Olusegun Obasanjo to Yar'Adua to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to Muhammad Buhari. Why now? Why now? Does that mean that President Bala Tinubu lacked that grace to really govern a country like Nigeria? Do we point the fingers at him at this point?
You see, if you trace the issue of why US is most concerned about our killings in Nigeria today, it's not because it was because they said some Christian petitioned them. So and he said he's going to defend Christians. So he's acting based on the petition by Christians. It's not because the US on his own said to say, look, we have seen this, we are not going to do this, we are investigating this. But because he said some Christian Nigerians petitioned them, and it's been like this. Some people have been trying to create hate within the religions in the country by trying to promote one religion or condemn one religion or try to attribute every crime to one religion. If Mr.
Barrister, you are twisting issues here. With due respect, you are twisting issues. No, you are twisting issues. Let me tell you, there's religious extremism. People have been killed. Communities, Christian communities in Plateau, Benue, Taraba, they've been destroyed and renamed. So please, you are not. Look, let me tell you, you are not a promoter of religious extremism. Don't try to color issues. You are not trying to make it look like it's between Christians and Muslims. No, yes, it has nothing to do with that. It is extremism. The US has been talking of religious extremism. They've been talking of religious extremism. Please, let us not try to, don't try to color the issues at all.
Yes. You're not twisting it.
No, you are the one.
No. So you're the one twisting it. You are twisting it. I think that at this point, because we all agree. Yes, Barrister.
They are talking about Islamic religion. People are fighting Islamic. They are not talking about extremists. They are talking about Muslims.
They are talking about extremists. Extremists. The terrorists killing people are extremists. The terrorists killing people are extremists. Those who stole Deborah in the Federal College of Education in Sokoto, were they not extremists? Were they not extremists? Were they Christians? Were they not Muslims? What are we talking about?
Yes,
so what are we talking about?
I understand that the temperature is actually high.
What are we talking about? No.
Yes, so yes.
Condemn religious extremism. Don't try to drag Muslims into it or Christians into it. No, I will not accept that.
All right. Yes.
I'm not disputing the fact that we have extremists. Yes. I'm saying why are they sent by Muslims? Because when it happened, you not say people who are killing people in Lagos for jungle justice. You do call them
no, the issue is not about Lagos. No, barrister, no. Let's not play that. This is deflecting. You are deflecting from the issue. We know the issue. We know where the problems are.
Yes,
it's not about Lagos. So it's not jungle justice. So it's not mob justice.
Are you aware that you can in Plateau State, somebody may be Muhammad and Ibrahim and it's not a Muslim? So why somebody say Allah or say it doesn't mean it's a Muslim?
The people who have been killing people, causing problems, they are known. Their religion is known. There is no controversy about it.
I think that at this point, yes.
By Muslim. That's what I'm asking. Why they say by Muslim for you to say it's Muslims that are doing it?
Well,
why they say by Muslims?
The extremists are Muslims.
Yes,
the extremists are Muslims. The terrorists who are doing this, you know the religion they are.
Well,
whether they are killing Christians or Muslims.
I think at this point, I would have to.
Instead of killing Muslims in US, when people are killing in US, do they call them?
That is not the issue.
Well,
that's not the issue.
I think
that's not the issue. That you are deflecting. That's not the issue.
Emeka, I am the moderator here.
That's not the issue.
I am the moderator here, and I think that at this point,
I will not accept it. I will not accept it.
Yes, very well said, barrister. Well, yes. So yes, very well said. Yes, Emeka,
the terrorists killing people. Who are they?
Well, I think
who are they? Tell me who they are.
Emeka, I think at this point,
who are the terrorists? Answer. Who are the terrorists?
Well, I think at this
point,
at this point,
who are the terrorists? Yesterday they invaded a church, kidnapped a catechist, his pregnant wife, and who are they?
Emeka,
they kidnap people in Kaduna.
All right,
they
so
kidnap people in Kwara and
Emeka, who are they? Emeka, I think we have to.
Who are they?
They are Muslims.
Yes.
They keep people in Kwara. They are all Muslims.
Well, barrister.
Do you know them? Are you affiliated with them? Why are you defending them?
Well, I think at this point.
I'm correcting the wrong impression. I'm not defending them. I'm correcting the wrong impression.
You are defending them.
Muslims are killing. Say criminals are killing. People who are extremists are killing. Don't say Muslims are killing. If you are saying Muslims are killing, you are putting me as part of it. That's what I'm saying.
All right. I think this is more like I think this is more like a misunderstanding here, because what we are actually yearning for is greatness for Nigeria. If anyone is killed, no one has the right to end the life of anyone, no matter where it is coming from. You know, this is why we talk about good leadership, good governance. If we have good governance at the center, we wouldn't be having all of these issues. We wouldn't be bickering amongst ourselves. Nigeria is one. No matter where we come from, we are one. I am from the southeast of Nigeria. I was born in the northern part of Nigeria. I went to an Islamic school in my primary school days. I understand the religion. I enjoy it. I value it. That is the feelings of everyone. That is where we're coming from. And what we need in this country is unity in diversity. Unfortunately, politicians have found a way to, sow seeds of discord amongst us, and little wonder you see us bicker, which is so unnecessary at this point. Well, barrister, I'd love to say... Yes.
Not only politicians. Yes. Even Nigerians. They hear and say people are killing, criminals are killing people. They will say Muslims are killing people. How can you say Muslims are killing people?
All right. So we have to call it go. We are short of time. Barrister, thank you so very much. We are short of time because we have other programs that would run in a bit, and I would love to say thank you to both gentlemen. I understand the feelings. The love for Nigeria is there. The love to see a working Nigeria is there, where we would live in harmony. When we go to the marketplace, the big question is, we do not select who will pay to. Money, the Naira does not select whom it goes to. And which is why I think All of this is so unnecessary. What we need is a working Nigeria, a place where all Nigerians can call home and we can shake hands with one another. Our children can go to the same school and be loved by one another. That's what we need, and that is the most important thing. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here. We truly do appreciate you, and we have to call it a wrap. Please do well to follow us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally log in at Enterprise TV7 to download and share if you may. My name is Henry Gubik. Have yourself a splendid day. God bless you. God bless Nigeria, and may Nigeria be great again. Bye-bye.